Good morning and welcome to Enshrouded. A little fantasy survival base building style game. So I've been playing this a little bit to explore it, but just started afresh to show off my thoughts, basically. It's pretty interesting. You kind of start off with a sort of Dwemer-esque architecture. Very Skyrim reminiscent. The door opens, the cinder vault, and you speak to a flame, which is very Dark Souls, apparently. So, it's an interesting combination of many, many inspirations. Recipe unlocked, Flame Altar. So, basic gist is the world is largely okay, but large areas of corruption that you need to help dispel, essentially. There you go, press I and navigate to the map to track your discoveries, or you can just press M. As usual. Planes for first base. So there's a base area down below. Lots of books for you to read in the world, which gives you a tiny amount of XP, as well as sometimes clues and quest hints. And there's not much more to do than run down the path. When I first started, I thought, oh, I'm being clever and exploring. And then realized that, no, this is just the way you have to go unless you want to drop down a cliff, which honestly that's probably survivable just there. If you really wanted to rush into it. Collect multiple torches, that's pretty much the only weapon you have at this point, and the durability does fade over time as you have it out. There's no like turn torch off or anything. But there are a bunch of explosive powder balls here, which is fun. They do that. I pretty much never otherwise use them in the game, but they're good to have, just in case. We get our first proper weapon. Take that, read that. So we now have a hatchet. Inventory is backpack, which is B, which is kind of annoying, but that's okay. You get 2 tabs of action bar by default, though, which is quite nice. I'll leave that there. I won't use it, but... So then you can just start breaking stuff and collect some materials. Gives you some wood logs. You can just wreck the place. And keep reading the book, apparently, because we keep accidentally selecting that. Sometimes your E prompt will be where you're looking, not where you think it might be. Lots of wood. Saves me having to chop down trees later. Excellent. The hints never go away. They keep floating there. Which is funny later, because there's one that talks about berries, and then you eat all the berries. And then it still tells you about the virtues of berries with no bushes in sight. So that's kind of funny. I can't remember if there was anything in here. Yes, there's a chest. There we go. Another torch, and another bandage. They really expect you to hurt yourself by now, it seems. And now we get our first encounter with what's known as the Shroud. Now this is what makes the game slightly more difficult. It's what gives it its challenge anyway. Honestly, I could have just left that torch lying there. I really don't need another one. How about we try that? E-throw. There you go. I'm just going to leave that there. I don't know if that will then expire or if it just stays there now. Unfortunately, you can't leave your torch out while you're doing anything else. It's like the early days of Icarus, which then people complained a lot about, which then meant that you had a, like, holster in order to... Yeah, those explode. In order to hold a flame while you did other things. And then it looks funny because it looks like you're just setting your crotch on fire the whole time. But, you know, the thought was there. Here's our basic enemies. They don't do much. Rusty short sword and shroud spores. Recipe unlocked. Glider and 1 more at workbench. The glider is very fun. We'll get to that later. Possibly not immediately. And now we've cleared this out. We also get some runes. Those are also going to become relevant later. I like that it doesn't stop and talk about things every step of the way like you get sometimes. It does wait until you actually can use something. Generally. I mean, it tells you about all these recipes, but it doesn't get up in your face. Now these things here, there we go. If you fall, you'll rise again at your last return beacon. These are around the world in various places. Pays to wander past them. They're pretty generous. At one point I was just dropping into an area and I saw one flare up before I even landed, which is kind of handy. Meant that if I died from fall damage, I'd be safe. So I'm supposed to be doing something else, but I'm really good at doing the things that I'm not supposed to do immediately. And I'm just going to be exploring, and now I've gone up to level 2 already. Your first level comes quickly. Your later levels come very slowly. There we go. I'm not going to read through every piece of lore, but a lot of it is just lamenting the fact that the world is basically ending at this point from their perspective. Anything down below? No. Let's break some of this stuff. Some of these things I take a lot more damage and don't break as easily. You can see the durability of my weapon is just plummeting at this point. I'm not even sure if I can break this with this. I think I need a pickaxe. It's the wrong sort of damage. Yeah, I think I needed specifically a pickaxe. But breaking all the stuff in these base areas is kind of handy because it just gives you lots of materials. Just clear the tables for them real quick. And more books. Well, of sorts. Journal. Someone basically stationed to defend the place that we came from, and funnily enough, they're all dead because it was ages ago. But the skeletons are somehow still here. So there's a bed that you can sleep into advanced time. They give you that opportunity straight away without you having to actually build one, which is nice. And they don't let you deconstruct it to pick it up, unfortunately. Got some plant fibers, apparently. Training W, of course. Right, so what we're actually trying to do at this point is get over to this little plains area. And this is where we're supposed to claim a spot for our base. Oh, recipe discovered, blah, 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 blah. Yes, 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 of course. Don't mind me. We'll need a construction hammer. We'll put that on our second tab. We'll put our sword as our first weapon now. We're just going to delete these torches. You can't salvage things down into component parts. You can only salvage special tools or special weapons and stuff into runes, which again we'll get to later. Oh, here's some berries. There we go. I came down not the intended path, so we didn't actually see the little prompt that they talk about those. Berries are fun because they give you minor health regeneration for quite a long period of time. Pick up some stones. There we go. And now we can make our flame altar. So you can see we've got a decent sort of buildable area that's exposed by this. I'm actually going to put it more up this way than I have in the past, because if you include the wooden areas of this, you can actually deconstruct them, I believe. Which could be useful. You know, or maybe we put it just at the end of the path or something. You can rotate, which makes no difference. You can also like choose to build around it and stuff, but we're not going to be spending a lot of time with this world, so place it down and commune with the flame again. Apparently the flame talks to us, so that's fun. There are other survivors drowsing, sleeping in nearby ancient vaults. Find them to aid in your journey. So that gives you your first quest. And we go to find the sleeping survivor. There is someone a little bit further away. But it's further away than you might think, and we do actually need some prerequisites to get there. They don't just hand it to you on a plate straight away, that's for sure. It becomes very quickly apparent that the pace of this game is fairly slow. This is early access, so there are going to be some bugbears about it. One little gripe I do have is that the leveling feels a bit inconsistent. There's the berries. Because your first level comes really quick, like you go up to level 2 very quickly indeed. And then your later levels come, feels very slowly. So it just feels rather inconsistent. It like teases you. And you have a skill tree, which is massive. I can't zoom out any further than this. I can zoom in, but apparently I can't zoom out. I can't zoom at all. It tells me I can, but I can't. But there's a lot of suggested subclasses and a lot of skills that you can go. You can get some extra ones on top of those that you get from leveling up, which is nice. Combat music. It's really good with the audio cues, which is nice, because it doesn't actually break you out of a menu automatically, I don't think. But yes, lots of different skills that you can take, but it takes you forever to actually get the skill points, it feels. So bear that in mind when you decide to specialize. That said, you can reset your skill points fairly cheaply, so you can kind of spec yourself into like the mining and exploration, and then reset them, and then mainline combat, and it's not a big problem at all. Yeah, that said, like these sorts of things are just kind of bonuses. You can start at this outer ring in order to immediately get stat point increases, and you don't need to worry about these ones inside first. They're not a prerequisite. The only prerequisites are when you go out this way. So this is quite a good one for early exploration, stamina consumption, when sprinting reduced. You get extra time in the shroud areas. You have a time limit when you're in there. Might have noticed in the cave. Time is a maximum of like 5 minutes. So you can increase that if you want to. You can also get potions that increase it artificially. We're not going to spend a lot of time looking at those just yet now, because we don't need to. What we're going to do is head over towards the blacksmith. You do run out of stamina very quickly, it must be said. We also don't have any decent armor at the moment. We can make ourselves some of sorts, I think. Yeah, rags. But we need to get to the blacksmith before we can get better stuff. There's also a workbench we can make. Actually, we can make a workbench now. Let's do that. Just to expand our options slightly. Where did that go? Over there. It automatically sorts things onto your taskbar, which is handy, but also very confusing sometimes, because you're not always sure where it's gone. So let's just slap that down there. And here we go. So this is where you build building blocks in order to make a little house, if you so wish. And here it mentions we have a glider, that we need shroud wood, animal fur, and string, and a grappling hook, which we need metal scraps, string, and shroud spores. So the spores drop from the enemies. The string we make from plant fibers, and the metal scraps we have to scavenge, basically. And we do that from breaking things in these sorts of ruins that we were doing before, but it has to be very specific things to actually give you metal. Probably like those beds that I was trying to do without a pickaxe. Speaking of, what do I need for a pickaxe? I need more string, and I need some twigs. Ditto for this, twigs and string. That's a pretty recurring theme. So that gets me plant fibers and some twigs. That gets me some plant fiber and some twigs. Berries just gives me berries. It doesn't give me plant fiber and twigs, unfortunately. Wolves don't give me much, but they do give me XP. So that's handy. Now, do we have what we need yet? We need to turn that into string. There we go. String, string, axe. More twigs. Unfortunately, big trees don't give us twigs, they give us wood logs, I believe. Twigs. Twigs. Lots of plant fibers. There we go. Pickaxe. Getting ourselves sorted. This is very much like the early stages of Icarus. So I usually have my utility stuff on a second row, and practical stuff on the first row. You can also put just random stuff. You kind of don't want to put food on there, because if you hit the button, it'll eat it automatically. It isn't like a select and then use sort of mechanism. And if you eat it without cooking it, you take damage. You don't want to do that. It's kind of good to have some inert things on your action bar. Nothing else, because when you die, you generally keep everything on your action bar. But it means that you can easily put away your tool, for example. There's a goat in this room. Okay. Goats are really stupid in this game. Oh, hello. Oh, you're chasing the goat. Gotcha. Well. Combat's not the most intuitive thing in the world, but as long as you time your dodges well, you kind of do the tricks. Interact with campfires. There we go. So it gives you some food in order to do that. Good night's rest. Talks about shelter and sleep and things like that. Get some more water, which is nice. Now, where was those beds? I want to keep trying to break those with my pickaxe now. I think they were up here. There we go. Metal scraps times 3. So it gave me some. Very few and far between. They are quite stingy on the metal scraps, it must be said. But you do accumulate a bunch of them over time. Oh, rats. I hate rats. They're weak, but they're really fast. So what we find when we come over here is a bridge. So this is how we have to get over to where the blacksmith is. But there's one small problem. The bridge is broken. How do we get across, you ask? Well, you can't proceed without a grappling hook here. Seek a path through the shroud instead, so it tells you about that. You can't get up the other side through the shroud, but you can get the materials you need to make a grappling hook, so there's that. In fact, what do we even need still? I feel we're almost there. Oh, we've got to make it back at the base. We'll get some more metal salvage first. I think we needed some shroud wood and stuff as well. Captain's journal, blah 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 blah. Wooden arrow, not very useful without a bow. Break everything. I didn't mean to get into the bed. I want to loot. There we go. It's a bit touchy sometimes. Really want to get more metal salvage from some of this stuff, but it's not the right sort of debris. It is almost nighttime though. That is when you do want to get into a bed. So this is how you get down into the shroud. Day 20. So about avoiding starvation. Wonderful. More arrows. Still no bow. We'd have to make it ourselves. Bows are not that useful though, it must be said. Stay on the path, let the shrouds can take you. Yeah, probably not. Staying on the path doesn't get you very far in an exploration survival game. So he actually has a shield. But you just fight him harder, and eventually you break his guard, and he gets stunned. So we're in the shroud now. Getting bones and things. We also picked up a ring, which is quite nice. So, Sigil Ring of the Elder Guard. Captain Arkwright is engraved in the metal. Well, we know what happened to him. If you are paying attention to the lore books we were reading, yeah, he was writing them. He's now dead. Such is the way of it. Metal scraps. Excellent. Good to have more metal scraps. Night is falling, which we kind of don't want to be here for, but I do want to chop down this tree over here first. Just brute force our way through everything, basically. Once they're stunned, just keep attacking. You get there in the end. And this is where we get a shield. a very poor shield, but we do get a shield. Chop down the tree. Gets us some shroud wood specifically, which is a special kind of wood. And we'll get some from this one as well. We need quite a bit of that in future. But for now, we'll just chop down a couple of trees and then see where we're at. Now, one very useful aspect of this game versus the likes of Valheim that we were playing a couple of years ago is fast travel is a lot less punitive. You can literally fast travel from anywhere at no cost, but only back to certain places. So that's its level of control, which is fine. I'm happy with that. But you can't do it from within the shroud, which makes perfect sense. Craft and repair. So, grappling hook, what do we need? More string, that's right. You can swap to manual crafting without leaving the menu, which is nice. We can only make 5. We need 7. We need 1 more animal for the glider. The glider is less necessary right now, but it is very nice to get. So we'll look at that shortly. So we need some more plant fiber. The berry ones don't give us anything. At night time, the shroud enemies spawn everywhere, and not just in the shroud, which honestly is quite useful for the sake of farming materials, but can be a bit of a pain as well. It is quite good to just sleep away the night if you can. We're not too worried. So, string. Another 2 of those. And now we can make our grappling hook. Grappling hook. Make. And now equip. There you go. And it disappears. We should put that shield on as well. It just makes it slightly better for blocking. Excellent. And then for the glider, we now need more string and more animal fur. That's fine. But now, we can get across that bridge if we so wish. And here we are back at the bridge. Whee! We can now grapple. Don't have to put too much thought into it, it just does it all for you, which is nice. Running, 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 and carefully make our way across the bridge. Can't remember if there was more things to explore down there. There's probably a chest or something somewhere. Seem to remember something. Ah, yes, down here. There we go. Here we go. Open the chest. Ah, arrows. Yay. Drink some water because that increases our maximum stamina, which is quite nice. We should have also built ourselves more of a base to become rested. But never mind. So now we need to run and jump across the gap. If it'll let us. There we go. And you drain stamina really quickly climbing these walls. So you want to make sure you've got plenty of it. Then down here, there's some traps. Did we make... Oh, we can make a bow now, if we so wish. We can also make a wand, which honestly I find to be more useful. It's lower range than a bow, but it has other benefits to it. They have elemental damage for a start. Also means you don't need to make ammunition for it. Also the bolts home, which they don't do for an arrow, which is kind of nice. Now this guy's annoying, but you can block every single one of his projectiles. If he hits you, it's like an arrow shotgun, which is really not pleasant. But, yeah, all you need to do is block, and it blocks everything that he's got. Quite hilarious. I was hoping for a bit more metal scrap. We got some off that guy, at least. It's very dark at night time. So there's a big giant spire up there. We're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to run off to the left, because that's where our blacksmith friend is, apparently. Find our way through the bad guys. I think these guys are only here because it's nighttime. They're not normally here. break through there. Guard, stun them, kill them. Job done. And I'm not going to bother about bushes. Can consider using to sneak up on enemies. Yeah, that's great, except that doing a sneak attack is actually a separate thing that you have to unlock. You don't get it innately. So you can attack, but yeah, that didn't do much damage to him. And then he's going to do a lot of damage to me, and in fact, kill me. So that's fun. We get to show you the respawn mechanic. We respawn back at the flame and have to go all the way back over there again. We don't really lose all that much. You keep everything that's pretty much on your person, and most things there. You do lose some stuff. You keep your gear at least, and anything that's actually equipped, like your armor and stuff, if I had any. But yeah, sneak, only useful if you actually have a, like, 3 skill point perk that gives you sneak attack. Otherwise, you may as well just engage at range. And I forgot to block or dodge, which would also be useful. Right, round 2. You can see our tombstone there, that's the big glowy thing. Let's take him on with some of this, and remember to dodge this time, because he gets locked into an attack combination, and he's actually really easy to kill once you remember to do that. Take all that stuff back. There is actually a explosive barrel next to this guy, which you can take advantage of. But only if you've got something you can actually aim with. If you had a bow, then you could do that. With a wand, you can't really do that, so it doesn't matter. Mysterious Flask. I don't remember getting that before. That's interesting. Damage multiplier. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's just put some of this stuff back into my inventory. I don't have any water at the moment. And Ancient Vault, Blacksmith. And there's one of these dudes again. I was expecting like a mini-boss or something when I was in here the first time. But no, just a regular dude. And read the thing about the blacksmith. And go and press that, and that unlocks the blacksmith. You don't actually see him or anything at the moment, but you get a summoning staff recipe that you can then use. And I just noticed there was a book over here that I didn't read, so let's just do that. There we go. Otherwise I'll forget. And now you can just fast travel back to base. And NPCs, I'm fairly sure, are like invulnerable, basically. They don't get attacked by anyone. You don't need to worry about putting walls around them or anything. So we now need to make a summoning staff, which thankfully requires a twig. They really didn't want you having to think too much about this one. Summoning staff, and place the blacksmith down. Unfortunately, you can't put them there. It'd be nice to have them all just, like, sitting around. But you can put them there. And there we go. He's very excited to be here. And that will do for now. This is just a first little look at Enshrouded. That gets you going. He then gives you quests to go elsewhere, explore other things. He also gives you quests to be able to find better items and other survivors. And you expand your base from there. We might come back to this another time. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.